Today's reading is going to be all about your purpose in this lifetime and what your soul wants to express. So if you are interested in what that larger purpose is and how you can live more in accordance with it, then stay tuned. Now, before we get into the pile selection, I just want to give a quick disclaimer to clarify any potential misunderstandings. So when we talk about your purpose, it does not have to be tied to your career. It can be completely separate from what you do for a living. Your purpose is all about how your soul wants to express itself in this lifetime. So I just wanted to put that out there in case, there was some confusion about what this reading is specifically about and what your sort of life purpose is, in like the general terms. So hopefully that made it a bit more easy to understand what this reading is going to be all about. So having said all of that, let's get into the pile selection. We have 3 piles to choose from in today's reading, and they go as such. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you already know exactly what pile is yours, sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen, then go down into the description box, click on the timestamp that you need, and you can jump straight to your reading. But if you are not sure how to go about choosing the right pile for you, then what I would recommend is first getting really grounded in this present moment. And how you can do that is first by tuning out any distractions, getting to a quiet place. If possible, you can also close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. That may also help you to get in touch with your body more so that you can hear what your intuition is trying to tell you, how it is trying to guide you to the right pile. So it can be any sort of sensation. You can maybe see something in your mind's eye. Maybe there is a specific symbol that you are drawn to, or a keyword or a color, anything like that. Maybe even a number. So the number of the pile could also be resonant with you or have an important meaning. Just trust your intuition as you are choosing. But as I always say, please don't forget to use your discernment as you are listening to these general messages. Okay? So having said all of that, let's jump into it. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 1. My name is Helen and I am so excited to do this reading for you today. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your beautiful energy. And before we get into the cards, I just want to say a quick thank you because honestly, this channel has grown so much in the recent days and weeks, and I am so happy that there are so many of you here already. So thank you so much if you are returning, and of course, welcome and thank you so much for being here if you are new. But anyway, having said that spiel, let's get into your cards. So you chose this blessings card, and we also have some pre-prepared oracle cards, as is the norm on this channel. But we are going to get into those in just a bit, because first I want to see what I am picking up on intuitively from this card. So pile number 1, I am getting a feeling from this card that you are someone who just oozes positive energy and who has this very uplifting aura about you, this presence that completely shifts the energetic vibration of a room when you enter. I feel like other people can almost like instantly feel when you are near them, or when you are there, or when you are not there. It's like your presence can be very palpable, and it almost gives me this feeling of like being the life of the party or the soul of the group, even though, and it doesn't mean that you have to be this big party animal or things like that. No, that's not what I mean. But it just feels like your energy and your presence is something that has the ability to like truly enliven other people and bring out the best in them. So yeah, I don't know. There's something about this image that is just making me think of like this really beautiful, sincere, vibrant soul. You could actually be a light worker, or you could be a healer, or you could be like a therapist or a counselor or something like that. Someone who just feels this soul calling to help other people. I feel like you are very much concerned with other people's well-being and other people's like safety and happiness. You may even be like I don't know, like volunteering at like you know, at like homeless shelters or some sort of like goodwill companies or something like that. Maybe maybe that's more of a specific message. I don't know, but it's coming through. So I feel like for some of you watching this pile right now, you are like the kinds of people who actually dedicate a part of your life to help other people in a very tangible, physical way, not just like giving donations or, you know, helping in any way, shape or form you can, but like actually doing something to like actively help other people or support your community or make the community better for other people. So for some of you, you could actually be in like politics, but in like a low level politics, like a local level politics, if that makes sense. So yeah, it just feels like there is something so very positive about you, something very uplifting. And it's almost like you have, yeah, like you are this healing presence, you know, like you are helping to eradicate darkness and sadness and hurt from this earth. Like that is something that is definitely coming through. And I know that I'm kind of like jumping ahead because we haven't even like gotten to the cards. So there is so much to still get into, but I don't know. That's just something that I feel with this blessings card. It's like you are able to bring blessings to other people, or your presence in other people's life is like a blessing to them. And I feel like people are definitely very much aware of it. It's not like they are just like using your goodness and your kindness. I feel like generally you are very much kind of like rewarded emotionally as well for everything that you do. So I feel like people let you know that they appreciate you quite often. So that is kind of like a nice little side bonus. And it's not the reason why you do those things. It's just like one of those little perks. You know, it's kind of this like beautiful exchange of healing energy is what I feel. Anyway, so that is just the intuitive part, pile number one. So if you are still kind of like not sure whether this is 100% your pile, then stay tuned for this oracle card portion, because through those cards, hopefully you will be able to recognize yourself much more easily. We are going to look at some of the strengths, skills, or assets that you have that were given to you specifically so that you could live out your soul's purpose. So let's see what we have. Okay, interesting. So we have a woman. We have some intuitive cards coming out, which don't have a keyword on them. Okay, we have lion. We have another intuitive card, and we have plague doctor. So I'm just chuckling to myself, and I will talk to you about all of these cards in a second, but it's just funny. Okay, pile number one. So let me tell you why I was chuckling as I was looking at these cards, which, by the way, I honestly, I swear to God, I didn't know which cards were going to be coming out, because when I do the pre-prepared card portion, I do it kind of like blindly, sort of like intuitively shuffle and choose the cards. So I honestly don't know what they are, and I am experiencing them for the first time with you here. So the reason why I was chuckling is because we have all of these healing cards coming out here. So it's just so very much in accordance with what was coming through from this image. But anyway, let's start from the very beginning. We have this woman card. Actually, I'm just going to start with this first. So we have this woman card, and it is actually like a significator card, especially in Lenormand, in the Lenormand system, but it doesn't refer to actual gender. So you can, identify as anything other than that as well. But what this is saying to me is that you, pile number one, have this ability to be very much in touch with your feminine, more nurturing, more soft side. Again, regardless of what your gender actually is, I feel like there is something very like soothing about you, something very like compassionate and just caring, loving supportive. Like there is this space that you have within yourself that you carry for other people, so that you could like, I don't know, like support them, or just like, yeah, it's I keep wanting to say that you hold space for other people, you know, regardless of like what is going on with you or how you are feeling. You always have this capacity to like be there for someone who really needs you, and like listen to them, or hear their worries, hear their issues, things like that, and offer like a supportive shoulder. And I also feel like I kind of want to actually use both of these cards with this next card coming out, which is kind of like talking about the, you know, like law, or it's kind of like this justice card energy. This is making me feel that you are so good at detaching your own emotional stuff from whatever like other people are needing you for, or what they are needing from you. So it's almost like, as I said, like when you are needed, or when you are stepping into this role of like helping other people, or doing something to better some other people's lives, it's almost like you are like tuning out whatever is going on within you, you know? So you are not allowing your own emotional state to interfere with what it is that you feel called to do, or what it is that you feel that you need to do. So there is this like level of a detachment that I feel, which is kind of like a healthy level of detachment, because it's almost like you are also very well equipped to not absorb other people's stuff within you. I mean, even though I feel like you do have like an empathic vibe to you, but I also feel like, you know, if this hasn't always been the case, then I feel like you have learned throughout the years, or just as time has gone by, you have learned to put some boundaries in place, so that you would know where your energy is and where someone else's energy is. So there is this clear line, and it doesn't get muddled, and you don't actually, again, absorb other people's like negativity or fears or anxiety to yourself. Even if you can feel those things, it's like you are not allowing it to become a part of you and your physical state. So yeah, there seems to be this very beautiful, clear-minded attitude that you have, or like you are able to just draw clear boundaries and sort of stay very practical about the thing that you are doing. And also I feel with this justice card that it, like, again, it's giving me this vibe of you bringing this harmonizing, healing energy to the world by like counteracting this negativity and darkness and heaviness that there is so much of in the world. And so you are almost like this beacon of light, which kind of takes me to this center card with the lion here, because I mean, everyone knows that the lion is the king of the jungle, right? That's what they are called, at least. And so there is this like regalness, or this beautiful and kind of like shining energy that the lion has. And again, it's talking about, you know, being in a position of authority or leadership somehow. So it definitely seems like that is something that comes quite naturally to you, even if, I want to put that out there, even if you are not necessarily like a really extravagant or extroverted person. You may have more like introverted tendencies, but it's kind of like you have this energy about you that other people are almost like organically gravitating towards you without you necessarily like demanding to be in a position of authority, or demanding to be in a position of leadership. It's just that other people are like magnets. They are being drawn to you like magnets. So it's like you are just being you are doing your own thing, and then other people sort of gravitate towards you kind of like out of their own will. And so you may find yourself quite often in positions of authority, or where people like turn to you to make some decisions, or to give them advice, or to kind of like tell them what they need to do, or come up with certain solutions or something like that. Or even if, you know, if you are not necessarily like giving advice to people, it just seems like what you have to say holds a lot of weight to people. And it's like you have this this ability to, again, like see things from a very rational and clear-minded point of view. And so like the way that you see the world and your values and everything that you stand for is something that other people admire or like respect. So yeah, I kind of feel like you have this amazing ability to influence people quite significantly. And now I do want to look at both of these cards together because they are very similar in energy. Both of these cards are talking about medicine or healing. And so some of you, pile number one, could very literally be working in the medical field. You could be like actual doctors or physicians. Again, you could be therapists, so you don't have to like physically work in like a hospital or medical facility or something like that. You could be a healer with your words, right? Or again, with how you like see things, you know, and again, even if you don't do a healing job for a living, then it's just this natural ability that you have, because again, we are looking at strengths that you have been given in this lifetime. So clearly you have a very healing presence and you have this ability to be a healing force to other people. And it's almost like I feel this that you have this intuitive ability to almost like sense what someone needs at any given time, or when there is something wrong with them, you can almost like intuitively know what would help them or what would make them feel better and what the solution would be to their situation. You know, so it's almost like you can intuitively sense when someone needs you to be there for them and to actually like help them cope with certain things, or to help them solve certain like tricky situations within themselves, or when they just need you to be there and maybe not necessarily say anything, but just to like be there with your presence. So yeah, I feel like that is kind of everything that is coming through. So pile number one, if this is you, if you recognize yourself within these cards, these are the strengths and the sort of the traits that you see within yourself and that you know that you have, then this is very likely your pile. And stay tuned for this tarot card portion, because now we are getting to the juicy part of your purpose. So the first question that we are going to be answering is all about what your larger purpose in this lifetime is. So let's see what we have. Oh, sorry, just one last thing that I want to say with these medical cards. They just kind of came in. So again, this may be more of a specific message, but this card over here is making me think that some of you could be almost like drawn to gory things in life. And like, how should I say it? It's like you are like, you know how some people, or I should actually say most people generally are repulsed by like medical procedures, or they kind of get weirded out by blood, or, you know, if there are any like surgical procedures or things like that that are like difficult for them to watch. I feel like you are very much almost like attracted to that, or you find it fascinating, you find it interesting. Maybe like even the human anatomy is something that is very fascinating to you, and just like the sort of the inner workings of a person, you know? I don't know. That just came through, so maybe that's a message for someone out there. But anyway, sorry, let's keep going. Okay. So the cards that you got, pile number one, are the Four of Cups, the Eight of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Five of Cups. So the water sign energy is coming through the heaviest. And I'm just going to point out some of the zodiac signs in case you recognize them within yourself. But, you know, if you don't, that's fine too. But we have heavy water sign energy. Specifically, we have Cancer and Scorpio, but Pisces could also be significant. And then we have some Gemini energy and some Capricorn energy. Okay, so I have to say I'm not surprised that we're getting the majority of the cards like being water sign energy, because that is very healing and that is the whole theme of this reading apparently. So the thing that I also feel with all of these cards being minor arcana cards is that your purpose is something that you very much live on a daily basis, something that is very much a part of your mundane everyday life, or something that you kind of like spend a lot of time doing out of your day. So yeah, it could be an indication that this purpose that you have with helping people and healing them and like doing all of that, it could very much be what you do as a job, like, you know, day to day. But I'm just putting it out there. If that's not resonant for you, then that's fine too. But yeah, so I feel like with the Four of Cups and the Eight of Swords, you know, both of these cards are talking about rather stagnant energy, and they are talking about energy of being a bit like boxed in or feeling unmotivated, feeling kind of lost or not really sure what to do or what is missing, especially with the Four of Cups. This is a very like deeply contemplative energy where it's like, you know that you want something, but you don't know what that is, and whatever you have in front of you, wherever you are at right now, it's not really doing anything for you. And with the Eight of Swords, it's just about feeling like there aren't too many options available, or you can't really see the way ahead. Like it's very muddled and it's very confusing and yeah, just kind of limited or restricted somehow. And so with both of these cards coming out, especially with the Two of Pentacles being the third card here, I feel like you are this Two of Pentacles force where you are able to bring some sort of other perspective or new angle to situations that could potentially feel very restrictive and inhibitive, and where people can get stuck in like repetitive ruts, where they can get stuck in like these negative cycles. Yeah, they just kind of start stagnating in this unsatisfaction and maybe even like hopelessness, because this Eight of Swords can be quite severe in its energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if you come across like deeply depressed people or people with like very serious mental conditions. But with the Two of Pentacles, yeah, I just feel like this is this more lighthearted and more vibrant energy next to both of these quite like heavy energies. And so yeah, it's kind of, again, your mission to like counteract those types of feelings or conditions that people may have. You being this neutral party or outside party, I feel like it is so much easier for you to see things from a whole other perspective. And so with the Two of Pentacles, again, this is you being able to notice another possibility or another way out, like this alternative option that the people themselves could potentially be missing, or that they don't know how to look for or look at. And also with the Two of Pentacles, I feel like this is also talking about gratitude for some reason. So it's like you are able to spot the things that are actually like working well for the people, or that are something to be grateful for, something that they do have. Even if it's very little, or even if it's something that, you know, doesn't necessarily make them happy, but it's still like a privilege, or it's still some sort of asset that maybe not everyone has, you know. So it's like you are able to spot those things as well and like highlight them for those people, so that they would have an easier time getting more into like a positive mindset. And with the Five of Cups being the underlying energy, again, this is very heavy, like emotional grief or sadness, or just kind of being stuck in the past, being stuck in misery, or just things that haven't worked out how someone has wanted. And I do feel like it's, again, that sort of energy that you may come across quite a lot, or that you may sort of see in other people. And I feel like other people suffering with this Five of Cups is very much the key like focus in your mission or in your life purpose. And you almost feel like this personal responsibility to do something to help alleviate that suffering. So yeah, that is what I feel here, pile number 1. So let's move on, because I don't want to get repetitive because it feels like kind of straightforward. So let's look at how you can show up more in that capacity. So what may need to be like adjusted in your current lifestyle to accommodate this purpose in your life. Oh. Okay, so I feel like it's still over here like this. Okay, so we have, okay, let's see. I need to move the cards a bit so that you could see them better. So we have the Maiden of Swords, which is like the Page of Swords. We have the Eight of Wands, and we have the Nine of Cups that came out in reverse, and we have the Star at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so just to point out a few zodiac signs, with the Star as the underlying energy, we have heavy Aquarian energy coming through. We also have some more air sign energy with the Page of Swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, all of those signs could be significant. And I definitely feel like how you could live even more in accordance with your purpose is by like broadening or venturing a bit, like even wider with your beautiful energy. So I actually want to start with the underlying energy, which is the Star. And so the Star is, even though like in tarot, it's not necessarily tied to like what I am feeling here, but I have to say it because that's what I'm feeling. So as I said, this is Aquarian energy. And the Aquarian archetype is very often tied to like the internet as well, and like wider groups, wider networks, and like connectivity on a grander scale. So I feel like you are being guided here to reach out to even more people, or help other people find you more easily. So you could have like a broader effect on the world. So very literally, you know, if you have been thinking about starting some kind of blog, or starting your own YouTube channel, or starting a podcast, writing a book, you know, starting some sort of community online where you could maybe like bring some of these people together who could also create this like supportive healing community. Or maybe like you want to again make what you know and like your I don't know, your values, your principles, your wisdom, your pieces of advice, like things like that. I feel like what you have to say really matters. And so sharing that on a wider scale, or making it more accessible to a larger public, would be something that would help you to live out your purpose even more. So yeah, especially with the Maiden of Swords and the Eight of Wands, both of these cards are very much talking about like communication and like expressing yourself, especially with the Maiden of Swords or the Page of Swords. You know, it feels like you have a lot to teach other people, or a lot like other people have a lot to learn from you. Yeah, with this Eight of Wands, it just feels like this dispersion of this information, or dispersion of your essence, or just like, again, taking what you have to say to other people, and possibly like over large distances. So, you know, doing something on not just like a national level, but, you know, like on an international level even. Like that seems to be something significant too. And yeah, with the Nine of Cups in reverse, I just feel like this is talking about like not playing it small, because you could be like kind of downplaying your skills, or what you have to share and what you have to say, and downplaying the importance of that with this Nine of Cups coming out in reverse. So it's almost like you don't see the value in what you offer. And I feel like that is something that could also be turned around, and potentially it would be easier to start believing in yourself even more as you like get your messages out there, or share your insight, share your wisdom, share what it is that you know, what it is that you have learned, what it is that you have experienced, especially if you like work with people like on a daily basis as well, then doing something as like a side business, or even if it's not necessarily a business, even if you are not doing it to like make any money, it's just something that would like bring you closer to the people and like allow you to help even more people. And even though I feel like you may start doing something just to, again, like express yourself and reach more people, I feel like it may end up being a very big part of your livelihood as well. So you could end up making money with it too, or adding to your finances somehow. But anyway, so that's what I'm feeling. But as the last question, let's look at what is the effect that you living your purpose can have on other people or the world at large. Even though I feel like we have already been talking about it because it came out quite a bit earlier already, but let's see if we can get anything else. Okay, so we have some interesting cards coming out. So we have the 10 of Pentacles that flew out quite quickly. We have the 9 of Swords, and we have the Sun in reverse with the 7 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So again, some of the signs, we have heavy Leo coming through with the Sun card here. We have some Virgo, and we have some more Gemini coming out. Okay, so I want to start off with the underlying energy with the 7 of Wands, because this is such a crucial message for some reason that I feel like even more so than the cards that actually came out. So with the 7 of Wands, I feel like the bigger effect that you live in your purpose can have on other people and the world is that it's like encouraging and emboldening other people to be more in their power and to like fight for their quality of life and fight for themselves more, so that, you know, I feel like this effect on a grander scale is basically like uplifting or leveling up the whole energetic vibration of the planet, as like people start believing in themselves more or fighting for themselves more, rather than just like being victim to life circumstances and neglecting their own needs and stuff like that. So I kind of get this sense, especially with the 10 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords here, that this is kind of talking about solidified fear or solidified negativity, you know, with both of these cards together. And with the Sun coming out in reverse, you know, again, it's almost like this darkness or this blight on the world, you know, all of this like negativity, which I feel like, I don't know why, but I keep wanting to say eclipse with this Sun in reverse card, which it doesn't actually mean, but I feel like it's almost like you living your purpose has the ability to eclipse out this negative energy that is so deeply like rooted in the world, and all of this fear and anxiety and negativity and hate and insecurity and all of this like low vibrational energy that we have kind of like been in, or that has been very prevalent for a long time. Right, with the 10 of Pentacles, this is like a legacy. This is like generational energy. This is something that is very stuck, very deeply rooted, and something that's difficult to change or uproot. But I feel like you doing what you do, you have the ability to play a part in like shifting the weight. Right? Yeah, again, with 7 of Wands, like it's like you are battling this darkness. You are helping to counteract that negativity and bring more light to the world. So anyway, as I said, it starts getting a bit repetitive at this point. So I'm just gonna like leave the messages here, and hopefully they spoke to you the way that they were meant to speak to you. But as the last part of the reading, we're almost done, I promise. As the last part of the reading, we are going to get an advice message from Spirit for this whole reading. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Oh, okay. Interesting. So let's see what you got. Wow, okay, we have it's time to come home, goddess of the sea, abundance, purification, ego. Yeah, so as I said, it's like you are leading people back to themselves or to some sort of, more wholesome, more complete, more authentic and more happy and fulfilled version of themselves. And I love the way that this card is illustrated, because I feel like you are actually guiding people to them, like, back to themselves, especially after they have been lost for quite some time, or they have been struggling, or something has been wrong and they have become like untethered. I feel like you are almost this like guiding light, right? Like the way that this chest is illuminated, like it's like you are a beacon of light, as I said, and you are guiding people back home to themselves, or helping them to pick up the pieces, right? So I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of Spirit's way of saying that just keep doing what you are doing, right? Because what else is there to say? It feels like you are very much in accordance with what it is that you are meant to be doing. At the underlying energy, we have trust in the places you feel guided towards. Space, time, and self, infinity, reincarnation, 5D. Yeah, you are definitely vibing really, really high, pile number 1. I feel like this is some quantum level thing that we are dealing with here. And you seem to be very much like this, I don't know, like this cosmic presence, I even want to say. I don't know, maybe it sounds a bit dodgy, and if you don't resonate with that, then you don't resonate with that. But I just feel like, like Spirit is very much working in tandem with you, and you are very much surrounded by this beautiful divine energy, as well as you are like sharing it or shining it on other people. So yeah, okay, anyway, that's it. Let's close the reading out, otherwise I'm just going to start rambling. So thank you so very much for being here, pile number 1. I truly hope that this reading spoke to you, that it resonated, that it gave you something useful, helpful, or insightful, or at the very least that it was entertaining to watch. And yeah, as always, I appreciate all of your beautiful energy, your kindness. By the way, if you are still here, I always love sort of scouting and seeing who are the real, like the true, my soul tribe members here, or my feather tribe, as I have once named this. So if you are still here and you are truly a part of this little feather tribe, then please leave me a little lion emoji and in the comment section, so that I would know that you are still here, and that would mean the world to me. So anyway, thank you again for being here, and I am wishing you all the best, and I hope to see you very soon back on this channel. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. My name is Helen, and I am so excited to do this reading for you. So thank you so much for being here. Now, before we get into the cards, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who has been so supportive of me and this channel. I have gotten so much beautiful, kind, generous, loving energy from you in the recent weeks and days, and I'm really grateful. So thank you for making this little corner of YouTube such a high vibrational and beautiful space. So yeah, I just really appreciate you. But anyway, let's get into your reading. So we have the already familiar pre-prepared oracle card portion, which we are going to tap into in just a bit, because first I want to tap into the card that you chose and see what I'm picking up on it intuitively, or from it, I should say. So pile number 2, you chose this card which says enlightenment. And I kind of get this sense that you have this ability to like actually travel in your mind to some very obscure places. Like you could actually be someone who can like astral travel, is that the word, right? Like you can, like your soul can leave your body or this physical vessel, and then you can like travel around and, I don't know, reach different dimensions and do all of that. I mean, I know that's more of a specific message, but I feel like someone out there like watching this reading right now definitely has that sort of ability. But if we kind of come back down to earth a bit, then it just feels like pile number 2, you have certain insights or downloads or knowledge that other people don't have access to. So it almost feels like you are some sort of an innovator, or like you lead the path forward because of how differently you see the world from everyone else, or like from the masses and what everyone is used to. It's almost like you can see certain possibilities that other people can't even like imagine or come up with in like even in their like wildest fantasies. But I feel like to you it's very easy, and I also feel like you could be getting like very significant messages or downloads in your dreams. There is something about like with the night sky over here that I feel has like an importance too. Yeah, you could be like actually seeing certain things in your dreams. Maybe you even have like prophecies, some of you, in your dreams of like what's going to happen. So you could have very profound and meaningful dreams as well. But again, more generally, I just feel like you have this, like this energy about you that you have gone through a certain like spiritual awakening, and maybe even several of those. So it seems like you are very much in tune with like certain cosmic or divine insight, and you are bringing it down to earth. It's almost like you are this vessel or this conduit so that, you know, we could like move on or progress, or it's like, it seems to be that you are the person who like pushes us forward, or you are a part of like bringing humanity forward in a way through your unique perspective and through your innovative ideas or thoughts. So and I also feel like you could be someone who is just generally as a person very adventurous, very explorative. You could travel around quite a lot, or you could be constantly seeking out like new experiences and new people, and wanting to put yourself in unfamiliar situations so that, again, you could enrich yourself and enrich your perspective and really like get a more wholesome grasp on like the world and how people actually live. It's all about like broadening your horizons is what I feel. But anyway, that is just the intuitive part. So if you are still kind of like not 100% sold on this being your reading, then stay tuned for this oracle card portion, because through these cards, hopefully it will be a lot easier for you to recognize yourself as we are looking at some of the strengths, skills, or assets that you have been given in this lifetime so that you could live out your purpose. So let's see what we have. We have Sextant. This is so funny. Okay. We have some intuitive cards which don't have any keywords on them. We also have Hawk. Okay. Another intuitive card. And we have Fish. Pile number 2. I feel like I'm not going to spend too much time on these cards because there is so much confirmation that is coming through from them regarding what we have already been talking about. And again, I know that you don't see the part where I shuffle all of the cards and I pre-prepare these oracle cards, but I promise I do it blindly, I do it intuitively, so I have no idea what these cards are, and this is the first time that I'm seeing them with you. So it's just funny to me how these cards work together so beautifully. But anyway, we definitely have heavy confirmation of you being some sort of like messenger of like some sort of higher level wisdom or insight, because, well, actually, first off, let's start with this Hawk card, because that is the messenger of the divine. This is the meaning of this card in like a very sort of straightforward or general way. And so it's kind of evident that you are able to have this like bird's eye view or this higher level perspective, again, seeing something in a way that like other people are missing or that they don't see. And so it's almost like you are this illuminating force, or you have these amazing ideas or this amazing insight. We have like this card is of the air element. And so the air is or the air element is all about your mental capacity. It's about your thoughts, it's about your perspective, it's about ideas and expressing those, and just like, you know, communication in a broader sense as well. How you choose to use your knowledge is all to do with this air sign or air element card, I should say. And so, yeah, it's kind of clear that you have some sort of piercing insight. So that's what you seem to be like bringing down to earth. And with the sextant as well, first of all, I feel like there is heavy cosmic energy with the sextant here. There's like some sort of connection to like the planets or the skies or the cosmos or something like that. You may actually even be, again, this may be more of a specific message, but you may be dabbling in like astrology or astronomy, or maybe both of them, and sort of using the movement of the planets in order to affect or influence the world as well, and like guide other people or guide your own life too. But with both of these cards, I just get the sense that you have this ability, actually, especially with this one, you have this ability to like magically influence, manifest, or somehow like alter the way of reality. You know, you may actually be, again, dabbling in magic yourself, you know, magic with a K, or you could be performing certain rituals, or just like kind of living your life in accordance with these more like spiritual or occult forces that, you know, like that are not necessarily evident to other people. Okay, there's maybe more of a specific message again, so I don't know how many of you will resonate, but I definitely feel with this card here too, for some reason, that some of you could actually be seeing spirits, or you could be communicating with like souls that have crossed over. Yeah, like get in touch with spirits or ghosts or something like that. Anyway, I'm detaching from that energy respectfully, but I definitely feel like some of you out there have the ability to do that. Yeah, as I said, you have some very cosmic, very other level abilities here, I feel like. But we also have these two cards here, and I feel like it's so funny that we are getting all of this like divine and cosmic energy on this side, and then we're getting very much like grounded and practical energy on this side. So with this intuitive card, I definitely feel like you are able to somehow, again, like materialize what it is that you know, what it is that you see, what it is that you think, or what sort of channelings or downloads you get. Like make something tangible and material with it, and build something, because this is a brick wall that they are building. Make something like very long lasting or very solid, very secure. And yeah, I just get the sense that it's like you are building the world of tomorrow, or you are building the future, I want to say, or helping to build the future, or helping to bring the future into being. Okay, again, more of a specific message possibly, but some of you could be working with AI or developing AI or something like that. Again, very specific message, so I'm just going to leave it be. But yeah, it seems like there is this ability that you have, or one of your strengths is to like actually turn your ideas into something very tangible and practical. And I feel like, because we have this fish card here too, which to me feels very transactional, so it's almost like you have this strength of like convincing other people to be a part of what it is that you do, or be a part of your vision, or maybe even, you know, if you don't necessarily build what you see, or what you channel, or what your ideas are yourself, then it feels like you sort of delegate it, or you are very good at like selling those ideas to the people who will then actually make it happen in the physical world, or in like the material sense. But yeah, I definitely get this like teamwork energy here too, or like having a bigger group of people connected to what it is that you are trying to achieve, or these innovations that you are trying to bring to life. And I also feel, especially with the fish card here, that one of your strengths is like sort of adapting to your circumstances, or adapting to certain situations, so that you could word what you need to say in a way that the other person would actually understand it or receive the message as you intend to give it. So, you know, it's like, it's one thing to have access to certain like high level knowledge or divine insight or cosmic downloads and things like that. But it's a whole other thing to actually express it in a way that other people would also understand what it is that you're talking about, especially if we are talking about things that aren't materialized yet, that haven't been made yet, or that haven't been created yet, right? If it's something that is innovative, if it's something that is has a breakthrough energy about it, something that other people, as I said, can't possibly even dream up, but you, to you, it's also logical to you. It makes a whole lot of sense, but you kind of have to make it make sense to other people too, and that is not easy to do. So I feel like one of your strengths is communicating your perspectives, your ideas, your insights to other people, and like almost making a concrete plan or something that would be more tangible, something that you could actually work off of or work with, almost like a blueprint, so that, you know, it could be created, right? Because it needs some sort of like physical form to function. Anyway, I hope that this didn't get too confusing in the end there, but I don't know, that's what I'm feeling, pile number 2, and I have to say it is a bit all over the place and it feels very specific, so I'm just gonna leave it there, and hopefully some of you could resonate with this part, and if you did, then stay tuned for these tarot cards, because hopefully we will get some more cool insight into your actual purpose. So let's see, what is your larger purpose in this life? Okay, wow. So we have the Eight of Swords with the Hermit in reverse and the Two of Swords coming out, and the Ace of Cups being the underlying energy that came out in reverse. Now I'm chuckling because the Eight of Swords also came out in the previous pile, so I don't know, I feel like that energy is apparently very prevalent or very important. But anyway, I'm also going to point out some of the zodiac signs that are coming through from these cards, so that if you resonate with them, it may be a bit more easy for you. It could be further confirmation for you that you are watching the right pile. So we have heavy air sign energy again coming through, not surprising, right? We have Gemini and Libra coming through specifically. And we also have Virgo here with the Hermit. But yeah, Aquarius could also be significant. So any air sign, you know, if you have air sign placements or very important Virgo placements, then this may be your reading. Okay, so let's just start from the very beginning. We have this Eight of Swords, and this Eight of Swords energy is very much talking about like this stuck energy of like the status quo, or where things are not really moving, they're not really progressing because maybe there is a limited perspective on things, or people are just kind of like stuck in the way that things have always been done. And with the Hermit coming out right next to it in reverse, I feel like your larger life purpose, pile number 2, is to like help fight this sort of inhibited way of seeing things, or this very restricted way of perceiving the world and the reality and its possibilities, by actually sharing what it is that you know, right? Sharing your wisdom, sharing this deeper level of insight or information, because the Hermit is a very wise energy. I'm going to show you the image upright so that you could see this beautiful illustration, but the Hermit is all about, right, isolating yourself and getting away from any distraction so that you could listen to this deeper wisdom that is within, and kind of, you know, glean the necessary tidbits of information that would help you to navigate life moving forward. It's a very solitary energy when it comes out in its sort of upright form, but when it comes out in reverse, this is saying that it's necessary to come out of that shell and to actually share what it is that you have learned and what it is that you know. So with both of these two cards together, it's clearly talking about you sort of needing to be the person who like illuminates or brings some sort of guiding light to people and to situations or perspectives that are very limited and that are very sort of like one-sided. And with the Two of Swords here too, you know, this can also talk about like stuck energy or stagnant energy. But I feel within this context that your larger purpose in life is to like make certain decisions or to get things moving again, to get things out of like this stagnant position by like, again, making certain heavy or difficult decisions. And the reason why I feel like these decisions that you sort of need to make or that you are making are not necessarily easy decisions is because it's not easy to be the one who brings about change, and it's not easy to convince people to accept that new change, even if it's something that is needed, even if it's something that is for the greater good ultimately. And we see that with the underlying energy here too, with the Ace of Cups coming out in reverse. So it feels like you don't necessarily have an easy task, pile number 2, but I feel like you're so very well equipped for that. I actually feel a lot of like Aquarian energy very heavily for some reason, even though there aren't necessarily any Aquarian cards out. But I feel like you could have very like significant Aquarian placements because you have this difficult task, or you know it would be very difficult for other people, but I feel like you are perfectly equipped to do that, to bring people out of this state of complacency or this like state that isn't necessarily working, right? With the Ace of Cups in reverse, that there is no life here anymore. It's something that is in need of a change, right? This cup needs to be turned upside down. It needs to be, or you know, the other way around. It needs to be turned upright. So you know, it seems like you have this task of convincing people that change is needed and that change is good. But with the Ace of Cups being here as the underlying energy coming out in reverse, I feel like even though you're very good at doing that, it's still like, it's something that is difficult for people to let go of, or it's difficult for people to come out of their comfort zones and to accept this new way of being or this new way of seeing things, or like starting to adopt new habits or new lifestyles or things like that. But I feel like you are the one who is meant to like push those boundaries or push those buttons of like what we are used to and what is normal. And so even if there's a lot of resistance, sorry, I don't know why I put the cards away. Oh my God. We still have a few questions to answer and it was just so automatic. So I don't know. Sorry about that, pile number 2. But anyway, yeah, it feels like you are tasked with pushing the envelope here and getting us past that like comfort zone of complacency, or you know, being in a state that we don't necessarily enjoy being in, but we don't really want to like go through the pain of changing ourselves either, right? So anyway, that is what I'm picking up on from these cards. But let's also see how you can show up in that capacity even more so, and so what needs to potentially shift in your current lifestyle to accommodate you living more in your purpose. Okay, beautiful. Wow. So we have, let's get these cards out. So you got the 3 of Wands. Sorry, I keep bumping the cards all the time. It's driving me nuts, and I know that it must be annoying to watch too, but you know, it is what it is. So we have the 3 of Wands, we have the Tower in reverse, and we have the Ace of Wands. So we're getting heavy fire sign energy now. And we have the 7 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Now, with the fire sign energies, we are getting heavy Aries coming through, but Leo and Sag could also be significant. And with the Tower, we have Scorpio or Aries, that could also be significant. Okay, first off, I want to start with the underlying energy actually, because we have the 7 of Pentacles, and the first word that I heard was patience, which is a very usual sort of keyword for this card anyway, but I definitely feel like patience is the most important thing here, Because with you being sort of this, this innovator and this, bright-eyed, intelligent person who can like kind of see the future, it may be difficult for you to be there and just sort of wait around for other people to catch up with you, because it's like you are already like 100 miles ahead. But I definitely see with the Seven of Pentacles that you are playing the long game here. And so even though it could be difficult for you, it's definitely something that Spirit is urging you to have, right? To pace yourself and to, again, play the long game and understand that some of these changes are going to take time, and it's going to take longer for certain people to adopt what it is that you are trying to bring about. And maybe some of these things that you are initiating or starting will bear fruit somewhere down the line, but you may not see the effects immediately, right? So I feel like that's why we have all of this like fire energy here too. Actually, all of these three cards are very fiery cards. Because the Tower is Mars energy. So we have heavy fire energy coming through. And so I feel like it's almost this message of you needing to keep the fire burning, you needing to like hold on to the vision and stay on task, stay motivated to bring your messages to the masses, even if the masses are a bit slow to adopt them. And even if you feel certain like resistance from some people, or if there are certain delays or something like that, I feel like it's something that you just kind of have to accept or like deal with. But when it comes to how you can kind of like live even more in accordance with your purpose, it definitely seems like with the Three of Wands, it's kind of urging you to, again, like think even bigger or to venture forward. And like, I feel like there is heavy emphasis on working with other people or incorporating people that are not maybe a part of what it is that you're doing right now. And especially if you are doing something where you have the ability to incorporate people from like foreign countries, I feel like that would be very, very beneficial to you, because I'm looking at all of this, like this rainbow colored, this illustration here, right? And I'm thinking of all of the like the diversity and all of these different elements that make up this beautiful whole. And so I feel like you could be very much enriched by reaching out or incorporating people that are from different cultures or from a different background, who speak different languages, and just sort of, again, like expand yourself in that way too. And I also feel that, especially with the Tower in reverse and the Ace of Wands, that it's not just about like breaking down the old structures. It's also about like focusing on what is something that you can, like what is going to be put up in its stead, or what is going to be established in its stead, like focusing on the positive, focusing on the possibility and the new beginning and the enthusiasm, rather than what is being destroyed or taken away. Especially, I feel like especially when you are talking about your ideas or when you're talking about your visions, even though, as I said, it feels like you are very good at like selling your ideas or making other people believe in them too. Like obviously, and it's inevitable that not everyone is going to be on board with what it is that you're trying to do and with what your vision is. I feel like this is kind of just encouraging you or recommending that you focus more on the positive and what is going to be this new beautiful thing that like has space to come in, or what is the potential for the future, and sort of take the focus away from what has to be left behind or what has to be dismantled, right? Like when you are bringing about these innovative ideas or visions. So yeah, it's not really, I feel like there isn't that much that Spirit is urging you to change or adapt, because it feels like you are very much doing what you are meant to be doing. but yeah, possibly just some recommendations in how to like soften new ideas for some people. But as the last question, let's look at what is the effect that you living your purpose can have on other people or the world at large. Okay, we are getting, oh, you're getting 4 cards actually. And we're getting quite a lot of major arcana cards here. Okay, so yeah, this seems to be, again, like divine work that you are doing here. But the cards that you got are the High Priestess in reverse, the Ace of Cups in reverse, which we already saw before. We have the Star and we have the 10 of Wands. And the underlying energy is the Strength card. So again, some of the signs that are coming through the heaviest here are definitely Aquarius. We have Aquarius now with the Star. We have Leo with Strength. And we have Cancer, specifically with the High Priestess, but Pisces could also be relevant. So I want to start off with these 2 cards together because like we already talked about the Ace of Cups in reverse, so I don't feel like I need to go over that because it's kind of the same energies coming through, especially with the High Priestess in reverse. It feels like the effect that you have as you are living out your purpose on other people and the world is that you are helping to see, or you're helping people to see the ways in which they are being unaligned or unaligned. Anyway, the ways in which they are not living in alignment with what is truly needed or what is necessary to have certain levels of fulfillment or, you know, just to progress and do better, right? Yeah, with the High Priestess, it's almost like there is this blindness or this these misconceptions and things that people are not necessarily seeing or getting. And you seem to be the one who is able to like illuminate that for them. And especially with the Star being here, right? Which is kind of like the, you know, the guiding star, the North Star, the one who leads the way, right? Who brings hope and who brings possibility for the future. So that is essentially what you are doing, pile number 2. You are bringing light and possibility and expansion into the world, bringing back hope that things can be better, that things can change, especially with the Ace of Cups being reversed here, you know, that things can get better and that we don't have to live in a way that is, you know, kind of just like coping or getting by, right? Or just bearing the conditions or something like that. And with the 10 of Wands being here too, you know, it does seem like you are healing with this Star card energy. You are healing this like burdensome or heavy way of being for people, right? So it's like if people have been bogged down by either like systems or things that aren't working or things that are making their life more difficult, not easy, then, you know, you seem to be a part of this movement or this, you seem to bring this energy that makes it easier for them to like handle their responsibilities and to cope with like everyday life. And also we kind of get a heavy confirmation of that with the underlying energy, which is Strength. So first of all, again, I feel like you are being this like connecting force of like the divine and the earthly or the grounded. That's what this like maiden and this lion represent. So I feel like that's what you are essentially doing. And also it feels like you are bringing more courage to the world and to people, right? Helping them to like believe in themselves more and to believe in a better world, that a better world can be had, that it's possible, right? So it's like, again, it's like you are this bringer of hope, you are this bringer of possibility that things can be better. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling here, pile number 2. So I'm not going to keep repeating the same messages over and over, even though sometimes I tend to do that. It's just the way it is again. But anyway, let's get to the last part of the reading, and I promise we will be done after that. So this is going to be a little piece of advice from Spirit for your reading. So let's see what they have to say. Wow. Okay. So we have, are you ready? The portal, adventure, ancestors calling. Yeah, so I don't know, it's funny to me. It's so funny to me because first of all, this card says adventure, and we were talking about that with the intuitive card part already, that, you know, you seem to be someone who is very adventurous and, like, you know, is willing to travel and go to uncharted territories. And I love that we are getting like this beautiful cosmic energy that is on this card, and then you can also see it through that portal here. So again, this is further confirmation to me that you are definitely someone who has the ability to travel between worlds, or to travel between dimensions or energetic vibrancies or something like that. And you seem to be like, this seems to be some sort of a deeper calling that you have, and that it's almost like you have been programmed to do it. Some of you could actually have like lineage, or your ancestors maybe were also, I don't know, maybe like shamans, or just witches or wizards, or who like actually worked with like earth magic or something like that. Maybe they were into like the occult as well, or maybe you are descended from a line of like psychics or mediums or something like that. Anyway, it just seems like you are doing like very high level divine work, and I feel like spirit is urging you to just like get even deeper into that. And I feel also that, you know, if because life can get in the way, so it's only normal and it's understandable, but if you do have certain practices, if you do have certain rituals or things like that, then I feel like honoring them, or getting back to that, like creating an altar space for yourself or something like that, creating a sacred space in your home, I feel like could be very significant, and something that spirit wants you to like focus on. So yeah, like not abandoning your rituals or your practices, and being in like regular contact with your ancestors or with the divine, with your spirit guides, with your spiritual team. I feel like that's very significant too. And oh my God, as the underlying energy you have, it's okay to forget and then remember all over again. The Voyager. So we have another card of like traveling here. Return home, lessons, realizations. Yeah, so, you know, again, it's something that I feel like you're playing the long game here, and you are meant to like go and get certain insights and then come and bring them to us, to the public, to the general masses, right? And yeah, just like returning home to like your spiritual self, or to your higher self or something like that. So anyway, I feel like we have gotten so many confirmations from this pile that you are some sort of a cosmic being, and that you have the ability to travel and bring about very significant messages, and that's amazing. And it's so, you know, if you are one of those people, if this is your pile and you resonate with this and you're watching this reading right now, thank you so much for, you know, sharing your beautiful presence and doing what it is that you do. And I feel weirdly honored that you are here watching this reading right now, if this is you. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I truly appreciate it. And of course, all of this beautiful, kind, supportive energy that you have shown me and this channel, I cannot tell you how much it means to me. Thank you so much. You know, if this reading was useful, helpful, or entertaining to you, then that's all I want from this whole thing. And let's see, I love doing this recently, so let's do it again. Let's see if you are a true part of this little feather tribe that we have here, our little soul tribe on this YouTube corner. Then let me know. You can leave me a little boat in the comment section, a little boat emoji, so that I would know that you are still here and that you are a true member of our little soul tribe. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much, pile number 2. Take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon back on this channel for more messages. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 3. My name is Helen, and I am so happy that you are here watching this reading right now and spending this time with me. So before we get into the cards, I just want to say a quick thank you for all of this beautiful energy that you have shown me, all of this support, your kindness, your generous feedback. all of the subscribers that have joined this channel recently. I am so grateful that you are here, and I cannot tell you how much it means to me. So thank you so much for making this such a beautiful space in this little YouTube corner. So anyway, let's get into the cards. So we have this security card that you chose, and we also have some pre-prepared oracle cards, which we are going to dive into in just a bit, because first I want to see what I am picking up on from this card intuitively. Pile number 3, I feel like you are someone who has the ability to like make people feel very safe, and who almost is this this like structure or pillar that other people can kind of like rely on. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I with this image, I kept thinking of like building as I was looking at it, you know, the word building, like, and you know, in a sense that you seem to be building something, or maybe, you know, maybe in very like literal terms, you actually work in construction or in the construction business, right? Maybe you actually create some sort of tangible constructs that create physical safety for people, right? You know, even if it's not literal like that, which, you know, may be more of a specific message, of course, it just seems like you have this ability like to energetically create this safe space for yourself and the people around you especially. I also feel like it's just something about you. There's just something about your energy in general with like whoever comes into contact with you that can feel that with you it's safe, and that they like trust you with some of their most like vulnerable sides. Or, you know, you may actually be someone who like has these weird occurrences where you meet someone for the first time and they end up telling you their whole life story, or they end up divulging things about you, like very deep, very personal, very like shameful or hidden parts of themselves that they don't usually talk about with anyone, right? And they like kind of just like end up spilling all of that out to you, because you just make them feel safe, like it's safe to do that. Yeah, it's almost like you are this little corner of shelter, or, you know, just looking at this image as well, it's like you are this little fireplace, you know, that brings warmth and that brings a sense of security, where people feel safe to be seen, where people feel safe to like open up and just share who they are authentically without holding back, without any filters. And I have to say, like, it feels like sometimes it's not the easiest thing to endure, and it's not like a walk in the park type thing, even though I feel like you are flattered by people like trusting you and trusting in you. But I also feel like sometimes it can get quite tiresome and quite like overwhelming when people just feel this urge to like spew all of their like, I don't know, secrets and hurts and pains and wounds and everything to you without you necessarily asking them to do that, right? So it can get a bit like overwhelming, but I also feel like you can kind of handle that quite well, pile number 3. Oh, okay, interesting. I just got more of a personalized message again, but it could be that some of you actually work in like law enforcement, or you work in the legal system or something like that, where even though I feel more strongly that it's like police work or like a firefighter or something like that, you know, again, obviously this is more of a specific message, so it's not going to resonate with a lot of you, but it feels like you could be in that line of work where you are actually responsible for like people's safety, or where you play a big part in like making people feel safe. So that could be an actual profession for you. But again, you know, just putting it out there because that's something that came through. But yeah, just more broadly, that is what I'm picking up on from this card intuitively. Now, if you don't necessarily feel 100% sold that this is your pile, you don't know if this is your reading, then stay tuned for this oracle card part, because we are going to see what sort of strengths have you been given so that you could live out your purpose. So hopefully you will recognize yourself more easily from these. So we have door. We have some intuitive cards coming out that don't have any keywords on them. We have crow, another
intuitive card, and we have Mort Bell.
So I'm so sorry. Evidently, I forgot to turn on my microphone for the first part of the reading, so the sound was maybe a bit off. You know, it wasn't as nice to listen to, so I apologize for that. We are back to our usual programming now, so hopefully everything will go forward without a hitch. But anyway, let's get into the cards of your strengths. So I definitely get this sense that with both of these cards, you are someone who has kind of the ability to keep out like unwanted energies in a way that you are able to remain like calm and peaceful or serene in like possibly very high tense or stressful situations. With this door, I feel like this is talking about this like boundary creating ability that you have, right? That it's like, even though like you are accessible, I feel like people can reach out to you, they can talk to you, they can, again, you are there to listen to them, but also that you have this capacity like to protect yourself by like standing on the other side of that energy and not allowing it to like penetrate your own sense of like safety, well-being, and security. Especially with this image of like the forest and the way that the sun is shining through or peeking through, it's making me think of like calm and peace and just peace of mind and just feeling very grounded and feeling very centered. So you could actually have an ability to ground yourself very easily and to like connect with nature in a very profound way. I don't know, maybe you even have like a sacred space or a sacred plant or a sacred tree or something like that you connect to. But yeah, it just feels like there is something about you being able to like shelter yourself or to have this peace of mind or to have this sense of calm and being relaxed in like heavily tense situation. And I feel like also this is talking about you being able to be that calming force for others, right? It's like you can sort of share that with other people. Now, we also have this crow energy. And so this to me is saying that you are a very insightful person and that, again, you have more of a highly developed intuition, most likely. You possibly have certain like sensations or certain nudges, intuitive like gut feelings that you get when something is off. And I feel that specifically with this next card here, because this is talking about some like bad vibes, bad juju. Like this is like temptation. This is the sort of the path of deception or like ill-intended actions, manipulations, like everything like that. It has a lot of like the devil's energy in tarot, if you are familiar with that, but it's like more twisted, it's more negative. That's how I feel intuitively, at least. And so I feel like you have the ability to actually see through like people who have ill intentions, people who have something bad in mind, and who maybe are just not generally good people, like just generally aren't good people. I don't know what I was trying to say there. So it feels like you can really see through that, and you can really see certain like masks and manipulations and deceptions or illusions that people may be trying to get by with. And I also feel like you are someone who kind of you can sense that in other people, but I also feel like you are someone who like alerts others to certain dangers as well, because we have this Mort Bell here. And so I definitely feel that you are someone who like shares what it is that you feel or what it is that you can see, and like prevents other people from getting into like sticky situations through that. So it just seems like you have this amazing ability to detect evil or wrongdoing or something that can be a bit like sneaky to detect. Again, this may be more of a specific message, but I feel like some of you have the ability to actually read signs of like people who are being abused or people who are being like mistreated or violated or something like that. And I feel like it's possibly part of your training, or you have gone through certain courses or something like that in the past that has given you this ability to notice the signs that other people may be missing. But I also feel like it's just something that kind of like intuitively comes to you. So it's almost like you can spot people who are in danger or who are in need of protection, who are in need of saving or something like that. Some of you could actually be like detectives, or you could be working in that sort of area or field as well, where you actually like solve crimes and things like that. But again, this is more of a specific message, so obviously it's not going to resonate for a lot of you. But yeah, you just seem to have this very vigilant eye. You seem to have a very strong intuition, also a very strong moral compass, I feel. And I feel like you are this voice of reason, or this guide to people who could be lost, or who could be sort of kind of veered off to the wrong path. Some of you may also be like youth counselors, or people who work with difficult youths who have lost their way, or who have gotten like tied up with gangs, or just that like more negative energy, and who maybe have come from like very difficult upbringing or things like that. So you could be working with children or youths like that. Again, more of a specific message. But yeah, you seem to have a very strong sort of personality and a very strong sense of self, which obviously you need in dealing with more of these like heavy and negative energies that you sort of seem to come into contact with quite a bit. And I feel like you have seen some shit, pile number 3, obviously. I don't know why I want to say that, but it just feels like you have seen some traumatizing shit in your life, things that other people possibly never ever see or witness. But yeah, it's something that you can stomach. And again, I feel like you have been given this ability so that you could be involved in that sort of darker space, or in that more like low vibrational energy, and then come out of it unscathed, right? To like not be touched by it. But anyway, that is what I'm feeling here. So hopefully someone out there resonated or understood these cards and recognized them within your own lives. So anyway, if this is your pile, then stay tuned, because now we are getting into the really interesting parts where we are looking through tarot cards. What is your larger purpose in life? Even though I feel like we have been talking about quite a lot of it already, and it seems to be veering in a very specific direction, but let's see what we can get. Thank you. Okay, so we have the 5 of Wands that came out in reverse, the Fool that came out in reverse, and the Ace of Swords with the King of Swords as the underlying energy. So I'm just going to point out some of the zodiac signs that are coming through here the strongest, in case you recognize them within yourself. So we have strong Uranian energy with the Fool, so that would be Aquarius. We also have actually more Aquarius with the King of Swords, and the Ace of Swords here could also be talking about air sign energy. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, all of those 3 could be significant. And with the 5 of Wands, we have Leo energy. So pile number 3, I'm not sure whether I already mentioned that, but I definitely heard the term voice of reason when I was looking at these cards. So if I didn't say that before, it's definitely coming out now that you are the voice of reason for a lot of people. And it feels like you are someone who is like meant to bring order to very chaotic situations. I actually also want to say that 2 things. First, I feel like for a lot of you watching this reading right now, your purpose is actually tied to what you do for work or what you do for a living. Yeah, it seems to be something that you are kind of living out through what it is that you do. But I also want to say that some of you could, as I said, I think I said that there was a message of you possibly working in like the legal system or something like that, right? And I definitely feel that some of you could actually be like lawyers or judges, or like working in that sort of capacity as well, although like lawyers feels more prevalent here. Because of the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords. But anyway, you know, again, I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there because it's something that is coming through, and it's again more of a specific message, but maybe it resonates for someone out there. So anyway, let's get into the cards. So we have the Five of Wands that came out in reverse and the Fool that came out in reverse. And so both of these cards to me are talking about very chaotic energy, especially with the Five of Wands. It feels like people who have done stupid things or who have gotten into stupid situations, especially with the Fool in reverse, like very recklessly, not really thinking about consequences, and possibly like almost like ruining their lives, but not in like a way that like nothing can be done about it, which I feel like where you kind of come in, because with the Ace of Swords, you are, as I said, the voice of reason. You are meant to be someone who brings like truth and clarity and understanding into those situations of like where people have gone wrong or what sort of needs to be done in order to move forward from that energy, right? To bring about certain necessary change, to like start doing the right thing or to start living in a more moral way. So again, it seems like you are someone with solutions. And even though we have this King of Swords energy coming through, which is very masculine in nature, but it doesn't mean that you have to be male yourself. It's just more of a proactive energy, more of a hands-on energy, getting things done and getting involved and taking action and pushing things forward, right? Rather than being in that feminine receptive state. You seem to be the bringer of change, or you seem to be the bringer of like, right, action. So with this King of Swords, which I feel heavily that it is your energy, this seems to talk about you being the one who, as I said, sets order to things, but also who can kind of see through the mess and rise above it, I feel. It's like when everything is very muddled and difficult to understand or see through for other people, to you, it seems to be crystal clear. It's like you can, again, with this crow energy, right? Like it's one of your strengths is the ability to peer through something that is on the surface to like the core of the issue, or to see the truth that is hidden deeply, right? So it's almost like no one can really fool you, I feel like, because it's almost like you are a living lie detector. I just heard a living lie detector. So yeah, it seems like you can sense people's lies or deceit from a mile away, and because of that, it's like you always know what to do. And yeah, I feel like you are meant to help bring people out of these like sticky situations, or to just bring like order and clarity and truth to very messy situations, or to situations that have kind of gotten out of hand or too extreme, you know? So that's kind of the larger purpose that I feel like. So even if you are not actually doing work like that, like, you know, everything that we have been talking about, if it's not actually tied to your profession somehow, then I just feel like more generally, it's something that you are meant to do for other people, you know, to, again, to help like organize things, or to bring order and structure to places and situations that are very turbulent, very lost, I want to say. So that is what is coming through here. Again, as I said, kind of a straightforward direction that we are heading in here, but let's see how you can show up in that capacity even more. So in which way you can live more in accordance with your purpose. Okay, wow. So we have, all cards in reverse now. Interesting. So the cards that we have are the Queen of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Maiden or the Page of Wands in reverse. And the Eight of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. So we are getting heavy fire sign energy now. Again, those would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Specifically, Aries and Sagittarius are coming through the strongest here. And we also have the Seven of Swords in reverse, which is Gemini energy. So we're getting heavy air and we are getting heavy fire. Okay, so pile number 3, I have to say, I had to sit with these cards for quite a while because I was just getting crickets. Like there was nothing coming through here. But in the end, the message that I'm feeling here regarding how you can sort of live more in accordance with your purpose is really like, I feel like you don't really have to do anything different because it seems like you are very much focused on your life purpose, or it seems to, again, be a very big part of what you do like daily anyway. It seems like these cards are just talking about distractions and not getting stuck in those, not getting involved in those, especially with the Seven of Swords in reverse and the Maiden of Wands in reverse. It feels like these other paths that could potentially be like taking away from your focus, taking away from your energy, that don't actually give you anything, or that may actually even take you to a path of like losing your confidence or making you lose sight of what is truly important. I feel like that is something that you may want to avoid here, because with the Seven of Swords, it feels like there could be something quite like sneaky. Maybe it's coming from people around you, maybe it's coming from the people that you kind of have to get in contact with, or you have to be around them on a daily basis. And it is seemingly, for a lot of you who actually are working in a very difficult area, you seem to be surrounded by low vibrational energy quite a lot. And so some of it could be a bit like distracting, or yeah, I don't know. It just feels like there could be some kind of negative influences around you as well. And even though I feel like you are very much protected, and that's why I feel like all of these cards are coming out in reverse as well, because they aren't really having any power over you. But I just feel with the Eight of Wands being the underlying energy here too, that Spirit just wants you to stay focused, because the Eight of Wands is all about like going after this one specific goal, keeping your eye on the prize and keeping the momentum going essentially. So, yeah, I feel like if there are any, how should I say, like propositions that you are getting that are not in alignment with you and your values and what it is that you're trying to do, anything that could be influencing you negatively or sapping your life force or your confidence or something like that, I feel like all of those things are something to be very careful of and mindful of and avoid as much as possible. And also, again, this may be more of a specific message, but some of you, I feel like, could be very much holding on to how like the things that you see or the people that you come into contact with, how it is affecting you in some sort of like spiritual way. Because even though, as I said, you seem to have very firm boundaries in place and you seem to almost be like trained in that area to not get involved with that type of energy or to not get involved in other people's drama. But I feel like it still affects you, especially because we're getting so much like fire energy. It seems to affect you on like a spiritual level still. And so I feel like with all of these cards coming out in reverse, especially with this more feminine energy coming through now, it could be that you are not necessarily wanting to reveal how some of these things could be affecting you, and maybe it's more of a vulnerable or that sort of side to you that because you are such a strong force or such a pillar for everyone else, it could be difficult for you to like be the weaker one, so to say, quote unquote, or the more vulnerable one to someone else. It could be more difficult for you, and so you could be holding on to certain things, like keeping certain emotions or certain feelings secret with the Seven of Swords. And maybe it's like getting a bit detrimental to some of you. So with the Eight of Wands, you know, you could also be encouraged here to open up about that, or to share what it is that you are feeling, what it is that these experiences and these people and these situations are doing to you on like a psychological and spiritual and emotional level. So to tap into that feminine side of you more, that could also be what these cards are saying here. But anyway, let's move on to the last question, and that is all about what is the effect of you living your purpose on other people or the world at large. Okay, beautiful. Wow. We have the Maiden of Swords, or the Page of Swords. We have the Six of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, and the Empress is coming out at the bottom of the deck. So we kind of have all elements out now, but the most significant energies here with the Empress, we have heavy Libran and Taurian energy. With the Maiden of Swords, we have more air sign energy. So again, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius could be significant. We have Taurus, again with the Six of Pentacles, and we have Scorpio with the Seven of Cups. So I just feel, especially with the Empress being here at the bottom of the deck, like this is such beautiful healing and like nurturing energy. And I want to start off with that because I feel like that is the effect that you are largely having on people. Again, regardless of what your gender is, it's just this nice, soothing, nurturing energy that like helps to, again, make people feel safe and make people feel seen. And because of that, I feel like there is so much like positivity and healing that is coming through. And so I feel with all of these cards here, the Page of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups, that you are essentially bringing to people a sense that they can have something better for themselves, that they don't have to be stuck in that negative loop or in that like darkness that they could be stuck in, right? With the Maiden of Swords, it seems like you are bringing this new perspective or this truth, this insight, something that is groundbreaking to them, something that alters the way that people see life and what is possible for them. With the Six of Pentacles, again, this is about like help and generosity and helping people to like receive some sort of new insight, right? Like taking it to people or making people feel seen, making people feel less alone because of the Six of Pentacles energy. It's like someone is actually seeing them, someone is actually noticing them, someone is actually helping them, right? So it's very, very concretely an energy of you helping the world or helping to make the world a better place through your generosity. And with the Seven of Pentacles, again, this is all about possibility. That is about this fantastical way of seeing things, and not like in a bad way, but with all of these other cards coming out in a very good way, because this is essentially telling me that you are helping people to realize that there are more options available to them, that they don't have to be stuck in whatever they are stuck in, right? So it's almost like you are opening up the world to them in some sense. And because of that, again, it seems like you are helping to like nurture the world, or helping to bring more of this sacred, loving energy that we so desperately need. You are helping to bring that into the world. You are helping to make that more prevalent in our sort of energetic matrix. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling here. So this is very, very significant work that you are doing, pile number 3. But yeah, I don't want to drag this reading on any longer. So let's get to the last part of this reading, which is all about the advice that Spirit has for you. So let's see what we have. Oh, that was so quick. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is so interesting because we already got this card for another pile too. And I swear I have shuffled these decks so much before doing the readings and then between each pile, you know, so they are properly shuffled. But we got the same card, the exact same card that we got for the for another pile. So I feel like it's an important message here too. So the card says, it's okay to forget and then remember all over again. The Voyager, return home, lessons, realizations. So again, I feel like this is something that you are doing for other people who have kind of lost their way. you know? So it's like you are someone who reminds people of like what the truth is, what really matters, where their home is. And yeah, I also feel like this is possibly an advice for you as well, in the sense that, you know, if you at times start struggling with like keeping yourself motivated or keeping yourself going, then, you know, it's, as the card says, it's okay to forget and then remember all over again. So, you know, sometimes it can be a bit too much. Sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming, but then like reminding yourself of why you do all of this, what is the bigger purpose behind it. I feel like that could be something that like really, truly helps you as well. And so I feel like this is just another way of saying that what you do truly matters and is very much needed. And the underlying energy is, may sweet and soft things find you. Harmony, ease, inner child, softness. So, you know, I find it funny again that we are getting this message of the inner child and softness and ease and harmony, because again, this is exactly what like safety is to a lot of people, right? That's what like people associate safety with, like being able to be in that like childlike, carefree energy. And so, yeah, I love that for you. And I feel like Spirit wants you to hold on to that part of yourself as well. But anyway, that is it, pile number 3. Those were all of the messages. I am so grateful that you are here and that you watched this reading, and I truly hope that it spoke to someone out there, that it was useful, insightful, or at the very least entertaining. And let's see, if you are still here, please leave me a little apple emoji in the comment section so that I know that you are still here, that you are watching this right now, that you are part of my true soul family, my little feather tribe on YouTube here. So yeah, then, you know, I just love seeing all of you who are like the real deal and who are watching my videos all the way through, and I'm just so grateful to you. So thank you so much for all of this love and kindness and support and just your beautiful energy in general. I hope to see you very soon back on this channel, but in the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.